the summer surge?
Testing.
Why they need to volunteer?
Testing.
Is it because they went broke and they're going broke?
Good.
The
Audio's
question
right.
is, are the top people cutting their salaries?
Okay, so I just want to get right into it. First off, I have to say, because of all the censorship, everything I say has already been deemed a conspiracy. Believe nothing I say. That said, I'm going to get right into it. What's really going on the global scale is a push for global communism. There's been a lot of talk about Soros. It's not just Soros. Israel, particularly the Khazarian mafia and the Ashkenazi elite that rule the country, who have zero Hebrew blood in them. They are the ones funding the mass migrations and Marxist insurrections into only white Christian nations. This is all part of the Kalergi plan. You have to look that up immediately. His name was Hirschfeld Kalergi. He had a plan which is really an extension of the Albert Pike's plan to start World War III by pitting Muslims against Christians in their own land. The Kalergi plan goes farther and really pushes the genocide of white people. And that is what's being pushed via commie teachers unions, via CRT, mainstream media, Hollywood's elites, who are all pedophiles. And as Clint Eastwood himself said, I'm leaving Hollywood, I'm never going back. It is again Luciferians and pedophiles. All this stuff is coming out on a global scale. There's two main factions that everyone in the world needs to know about. Everybody keeps hearing about the cabal. Well, yeah, they're the ones running the show at the moment. Behind the scenes, there's another group called the Global Alliance. Started out with about 5 countries, America, Russia, and it's grown to 17 countries. They're all pushing a different reset, a global great reset, than the cabal is pushing. The cabal is trying to collapse the global economy with perpetual lockdowns to install their great reset, which is just Bitcoin, another fiat illusion that, of course, they will control. The alliance in opposition is bringing about Jasara, which is global, and or Messara, which is national. This is a gold-backed currency basket. Every country in the world except Iran, China, and Israel have signed on to this. Trump actually signed it into law before leaving office. Now, to understand what's happening here in America right now, first off, we have to, of course the election was stolen, but more importantly, Pelosi herself staged the entire January 6th false flag so the mainstream media had more fodder to continue demonizing patriots and white people, painting us all with the same Nazi brush. Whilst Congress itself committed a globalist, communist, neocon coup, certifying a stolen election. Now, the alliance knew that they're going to be doing this. I didn't realize that X-22 on me. And they were tracking and collecting the evidence live as it was happening because they knew they were going to steal the election. This is why Trump, prior to the election, made collusion with a foreign entity to steal an election a capital offense. That's a death penalty. That's high treason. And indeed, 5 countries were involved. Italy, a NATO ally, was one of them. This is what allowed the alliance to go in, take control of Italy, and they were, through the government, allowed to raid the Vatican, just as they raided the CIA here in Langley, and seized quintillions in gold, embezzled funds, and artifacts. Now, The cabal is so meticulous in their theft since the Treasonous Act of 1871 that they've kept track of every cent they've stolen from every family around the world, some of who aren't even around anymore. The Alliance intends on bringing about Jasara, and it's already apparently rolled out in several countries. I believe Portugal is one of them. Every cent that has been stolen from you through the IRS, the Fed, will be returned to you, but in increments, because they do understand human psychology. And even I have witnessed people win the lottery or be left 10 grand from their dad who died and then waste it all on crack. People kill themselves. People go crazy when they're throwing too much money after being treated like slaves all their lives. And that's what the entire Fed and IRS and Act of 1871 is all about. We switch from the gold standard to the federal note, which is owned. People keep thinking the federal is national, or federal is neither, nor is it reserve. It is owned by the same 5 Zionist, Jewish, Dutch shipyard owning families who restarted slavery after the Boer War shut down slavery of white people that had been going on for 1,000 years. Now we are switching under this new plan to global slavery. Now, with the perpetual lockdowns and the Great Reset, if their plan went through, millions upon millions would starve to death within the first year. Anybody who studied Bolshevism in the revolution in Russia knows that that was their modus operandi. That's exactly what they're doing here. They're already paying American farmers just to let their food rot. The whole world did not produce much of anything last year. So there is a staged food shortage coming. The reason they're pushing to take all Americans' guns right now is because it's the only, armed patriot society in the world, almost, of any real strength. And it's not about the guns, because the guns are just what you use to protect your food stock. They come in, the Gates is buying up all the farmland. They're making, you're going to see empty shelves soon enough. I guarantee it, this year. And what are you going to do? If you're not stocked up and armed up to protect you and yours, then you're done. Now, we've known since 6 months prior to the election, not only did they stage the false flag on January 6th with Antifa and BLM dressed in MAGA gear, they also plan on bringing out more of that, only on just random shooting sprees of civilians, so they can look and point and say, hey, look, the white supremacist MAGA people cultists are all lost their lid and are going crazy. That is the exact excuse that Hillary Clinton, back when she thought she was going to win, they already had this plan set in motion where Chinese UN peacekeeping troops would be brought in to take our guns and kill anybody who resisted. That was their plan. FEMA camps for all of us. If Trump didn't get in office, we'd all be sitting there. I certainly wouldn't be around. During the Obama administration, they tried to kill me already. I had to go to a hospital. This is a true story. I had to go to a hospital. The VA in White River Junction here couldn't help me, so they sent me across the border to New Hampshire to the Dartmouth Hitchcock facility, where the head heart surgeon removed an RFID chip that had been put in my jaw during my service, because as soon as you get that high clearance, they put a tracker in you, and they pretty much listen to everything you say for the next 10 years, even after you get out. And I've been talking. I was the one who founded the Global Truth page on Facebook, now I'm forever banned there and Twitter. The doctor, after the surgery, said that it had developed a cyst around it, had grown tentacles, and was boring through my jaw toward my brain. It would have killed me. Him and the nurses in the recovery room looked terrified, and he just asked me, "Who are you?" And because I'm on, whatever they gave me for the surgery, it's kind of a truth serum, I just blurted out, I was just a private in the Army. I was during 9/11, so I knew it was a false flag. And it was just like a scene out of the movie Total Recall. I have to also touch on this whole COVID fiasco. Now, first off, I'm going to back up. I'm going to digress 5 years prior. Fauci, who's been working the CDC all along, put out a paper 5 years ago that stated in the case of a pandemic, which now it's already endemic, more people would die from wearing face masks by developing bacterial pneumonia than from any disease. And now he's the one forcing face masks. Fauci himself, with the CDC and in this funding of the NIH, had to move offshore, obviously, to China. He created COVID by weaponizing SARS-1. And he and Obama did, in fact, fund the CCP's bioweapons facility just 3 blocks from the wet market, which their media tried to blame it on initially. They knew that it would be leaked because that particular facility had already been cited 13 times by the United Nations as being, not up to par. They knew it would be leaked, and they would be able to use it not just to steal election. This is not just about Trump, but as I said, to collapse the global economy, to starve millions of people, and now with their, which is not certified as a VAC. Okay, what word I'm going for here. It's certified as an operating system because of the nanotech trackers in it. Alex Jones talks a lot about that, and that's why he's being banned right now. But don't be fooled by Alex either. Alex is a Mossad agent, just as Schiff is. And that's why the best liars, they tell 90% of the truth. Schiff, he just lies out as you know what. But Schiff, like Chief Justice Roberts, is a murderous pedophile. And the only reason I can say that, the only reason I can recite what the good lawyer has said on Twitter, Lynn Wood, about Chief Justice Roberts, said, "Are you or are you not a member of a global cabal in which membership requires you bring a child, rape that child, and then sacrifice that child on video?" Why can he say that? When he is a character assassin, he knows character defamation law. The reason is genius. Because if they bring him to court, he gets to bring the evidence. And as Sidney Powell said, we have it all. All the evidence was captured live, all the fraud, everything about COVID and what I just said is documented. Okay? And the deadly jab, that's just the beginning. But that's not the mark of the beast, as so many fellow Christians are ranting about. No. The mark is Gates' new insertable digital currency, cryptocurrency, of course. Patent number 020202060606. That is the mark. Just like the Bible says, if you want to enter a place of business, buy a loaf of bread, you will have to scan your hand. That's why people across the world are protesting against all these lockdowns, particularly against the vaccine passport, which is equivalent of the Nazi star thrown on a Jew. People don't understand that Hitler's grandmother was a Rothschild. The Zionists who started the war with the Balfour Declaration, they funded Hitler because they're Ashkenazis from Khazaria. They are not Hebrews. They wanted to eliminate all the 12 tribes so that they could steal Palestine. They are the ones who started the CFR. They're the ones who started the United Nations with the sole intent of creating the Israel state and denying Palestine anything. Okay? The West Bank and Gaza, they are nothing more than a turkey shoot. And Israel actually has contracts with the, industrial war machine to test weapons on citizens. And that's why they get away. They're the only country in the world that gets away with defying UN law by using, i.e., phosphorus, on civilians. I'm going to end the stream now.